So I just want to let everybody know this is why I tell people do not release Muscovies into the wild. So in this batch we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 21. This is a clutch of 21 Muscovy eggs from one Muscovy duck. One Muscovy duck. 21 eggs. This is my first clutch of the year, and this one is from Wisp. She has 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. 14 Muscovy duck eggs. These guys are due to hatch in April. This is another clutch from one Muscovy duck. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 21, 22. Around 22 eggs. This is a clutch that somebody has just started. There's 6 eggs in here right now, and that'll probably double in a couple days. This is another clutch that I have. I am not 100% sure if these are Muscovy eggs. They are quite a bit smaller and do have a slightly different color to them. So these might actually be call duck eggs, but I'm factoring them in because I'm not sure if they're call duck eggs or if they're Muscovy eggs. So there's another clutch. I've owned chickens before, but never ducks. How often do they lay an egg? So this would really depend on what breed of duck you have or what breed of duck you want to get into, because just like chickens, each breed of duck has its own specific qualities and pros and cons. For me, I have raised Muscovies for around 6 years, if not a little over 6 years, and me and my boyfriend got call ducks last year. I'm not going to speak a whole lot on the call ducks simply because I do not have enough experience with them to really put out knowledge about them. However, with Muscovies, a Muscovy duck will lay 1 to 3 batches or clutches per year during the spring or summer, and a lot of that is dependent on how you raise the young. So what I mean by that is if you have a Muscovy hen and she hatches some ducklings and you leave those ducklings with mom, she will only have 1 clutch for that entire year. Now, I do not think leaving ducklings with mom is ethical. I do not think it is safe, and I do not leave ducklings with their parents. I take the ducklings, those ducklings then get vent sexed, they get banded, and then they get penned. Now, vice versa, if you raise your ducklings like I do, you're going to get more clutches or batches for that year. So your hens are most likely going to lay 2 to 3 batches a year. For me, I normally do not allow them to hatch that 3rd batch simply because it's getting later in the season by then, it's starting to get cold out again, and I do not like raising ducklings in cold weather. Now, if you take a khaki Campbell, for example, I have raised and owned khaki Campbells. I no longer have them, but khaki Campbells are more similar to a chicken where they will lay most likely every single day. My khaki Campbells laid every single day. They did go broody at one point, and they hatched those eggs and went right back to laying. Now, some duck breeds have specific times of the year which they lay, and they only lay during that season. Other breeds you're not going to get barely any eggs out of, such as jumbo pekins, because jumbo pekins are a meat duck, and I do not think it's ethical to keep a jumbo pekin alive. Now, take jumbo pekins, for example, they are a meat breed. So they're a lot like Cornish cross, they're a lot like broad-breasted turkeys. They are physically designed not to live very long. They are physically designed not to lay many eggs. They are meat-purpose birds. And personal opinion here, I really do think that regular Pekin ducks also fall into that category, simply because Pekins tend to be on the bigger side. Now, you're gonna get more eggs from a regular Pekin than you will a jumbo Pekin. However, they tend to also have issues with arthritis. And every person I have known to own regular Pekins, normally those ducks between the ages of like 2.5 to 4 years of age get really bad arthritis in their legs, and some of them eventually get to the point where they can't even move. So at the end of the day, really getting into ducks is just like getting into chickens. You've got ducks that are going to be more heat or cold tolerant. You've got ducks that are going to lay more than others. Muscovies, I love Muscovies. They are absolutely by far my favorite breed. And plus side, they're not loud. The one downside about Muscovies is they can fly. And if anybody tells you that the Drake Muscovies cannot fly, they are lying to you. A Drake Muscovy can 100% fly. Call ducks can fly. Therefore, whenever you're breeding Muscovies or call ducks, or any breed of duck that can fly, I think the ethical way of breeding them is to pin in the duckling's wings. That way, if you're selling any, those ducklings, when they get older and grow up, never have the chance to fly. But at the end of the day, duck breeds are a lot like chicken breeds in the sense that you're looking for the same things whenever you're looking to get into them. You really just want to research the breed before you get ducklings and get them from an ethical breeder. I don't recommend getting them from Tractor Supply, for example, because they don't offer vent sex ducklings, and 9 times out of 10 you end up with more males than females, and it's just a shit show from there.